The storm over Mars had teeth that day. Long streaks of red dust flared across the horizon, catching the dying light of the sun. My suit's visor pulsed a warning. Atmospheric pressure drop. Seek shelter immediately. I ignored it. There were bigger things to worry about than choking on dust. Namely, the 7-foot-tall alien queen waiting for me in the ruins of what used to be our main research outpost. They called her Azareth, Queen of the Hellion Dominion, though I preferred Her Majesty pain in the neck. She had the kind of beauty that looked carved from obsidian. Smooth, cold, perfect. Her eyes glowed faintly blue like dying stars, and her armor shimmered in geometric patterns that shifted every time she moved. And she had come for me. "Kneel, human," she commanded, her voice like music forged from thunder. The air seemed to vibrate around the words, as though the world itself obeyed her tone. I just laughed low and tired. "Not today, Your Majesty." Her mandibles, or maybe lips, I was never sure which, curved into something like a smirk. "You defy me even now. Your species lies in ruins. Your colonies burn. Your leaders beg for peace." "Maybe," I said, brushing the dust off my shoulder, "but I'm not much for begging." The beginning, the fall of Earth. It had been 3 years since the Hellion ships blackened the sky over Earth. They came not with invasion fleets, but with something worse, elegance. Their technology wasn't crude, it was art. Our satellites melted into liquid silver. Our missiles detonated in their silos as if laughing at us. They didn't conquer us by force. They conquered by inevitability. Azareth had led the negotiations. She offered peace in exchange for servitude. "Kneel," she said to the United Nations Council, "and live as subjects of the Dominion." Some did. Most didn't. I was a scientist with the Terran Defense Initiative, or what was left of it. My specialty was quantum pattern collapse, the kind of math that could bend time if you pushed hard enough. When the world fell, I fled to Mars along with a handful of survivors. We built a lab in the caverns beneath Olympus Mons, chasing one desperate idea. A machine that could undo the moment the Hellions arrived. We called it Project Asterion. The middle, the machine and the monarch. Azareth found us anyway. Her kind always did. The Hellions had a way of sniffing out rebellion. Not through spies, but through resonance. They said resistance emitted a kind of psychic frequency, and Azareth was a master tuner. She walked into our lab like a goddess entering a temple. Half my team froze. The other half ran. I stood still. She looked directly at me, unblinking. "Dr. Kieran Holt," she said. "You built a device that dares to rewrite causality. You understand the arrogance of that, yes?" "Arrogance," said. "Coming from someone who just rewrote an entire species' destiny." Her eyes shimmered. "You mistake dominion for cruelty. We offer unity, perfection. Your species is flawed, chaotic. That's what makes us human. That's what makes you dangerous." She stepped closer. Close enough that the energy radiating off her armor raised the tiny hairs on my arms. "You could join me," she said. "You could serve. The Dominion rewards loyalty." I met her gaze, and for a heartbeat, maybe two, I saw something there. Curiosity. Maybe even respect. Or maybe I just wanted to believe that an alien queen could see something worth saving in me. "I don't kneel," I said. Her laughter filled the room, a crystalline, echoing sound that could shatter glass. "You misunderstand, Doctor. You already do. You kneel to your pride, to your defiance, to your doomed species." And then she destroyed the lab. With one gesture, the air turned white-hot. Consoles vaporized. The hum of Asterion, my life's work, turned into a dying whine. My crew scattered, screaming. I barely made it out alive. That's how I ended up in the ruins, the storm screaming outside, the queen standing over me, her army somewhere beyond the red haze. The confrontation. You destroyed everything, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. You think that'll stop what's coming? What's coming? She asked, tilting her head. I smiled through the cracked visor. Insurance. Because Asterion wasn't entirely gone. I'd built a backup core, a hidden one, buried beneath the Martian crust, powered by geothermal vents. And I'd triggered it before the lab went up in flames. Somewhere below our feet, reality was starting to bend. Your Majesty, I said, ever wonder what happens when time rebels? Her expression flickered, the first sign of uncertainty I'd ever seen. What have you done? Something stupid, I said. Something human. The ground trembled. Lightning, blue, not red, forked across the Martian sky. Time itself shimmered like heat over sand. Fragments of moments, laughter, screams, entire seconds, began looping in and out of existence. I saw the storm reverse direction. I saw Azareth flicker, her armor phasing in and out of sync. This is madness, she hissed. You'll destroy us both. Maybe, I said, but if I'm going down, I'm taking destiny with me. She lunged forward, seizing me by the collar of my suit. Her hand was cold, impossibly strong. You think this will bring your world back? No, I whispered, but it'll make sure you remember ours. For a moment our eyes locked, and in that frozen instant of broken time, I saw something raw. Regret maybe, or admiration. Then the light consumed us both. The ending after the collapse. When I woke up, I wasn't on Mars anymore. The air was blue, the grass real. Birds sang. Earth. But not our Earth. There were cities in the sky, floating towers that shimmered like glass. People, or things that looked like people, moved below, wearing clothes that rippled like light. I looked at my reflection in a pool of water. I was older. My hair streaked with silver. Decades had passed. A voice spoke behind me. You're persistent, Dr. Holt. Turned. Azareth stood there. Not in armor, not as a queen, but as something softer. She wore human skin now, though her eyes still burned that faint, impossible blue. This is what remains, she said quietly. A world rewritten by your device. Neither dominion nor earth. A merging of both. So we both lost, I said. Or both won, she replied. We stood there, silent, watching the sun rise over a world that shouldn't exist. I didn't know if it was peace or purgatory. Maybe both. Finally she turned to me, a faint smile on her lips. Do you still refuse to kneel? Smiled back. Not today, Your Majesty. She laughed, softly this time. No thunder, no command. Just something almost human. And as the light spread across the new horizon, I realized something strange. Maybe, just maybe, she'd learned from us. Or maybe the universe had simply grown tired of watching us fight. Either way, the war was over. And for the first time in forever, I didn't feel like running.